Hi everyone and welcome to FTMO. Let me introduce you to the new concept of interviews devoted specifically to trade and psychology. Today I'll be talking to our FTMO trader Alana from Jacksonville in Florida, US. We had a couple of performance coaching sessions together and she actually got herself from a drawdown to an astonishing profit of $8,000. Keep on watching to hear her full story. Hello, Alana, and we are happy to have you here. So, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much, Nelly, for having me today. I'm really honored to be here.
So, Alana, could you please introduce yourself a bit and tell us how you got into the trading, perhaps?
Well, sure thing. My name's Alana. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I've been trading for about 4 years now. I'm a retired registered ICU nurse. I encountered crypto and trading from learning from a like-minded community of individuals who enjoy trading, and I've been able to find my trading partner in this community, and I've been trading pretty much every day since for the last 4 years. Yeah.
Cool, cool. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. So how did you learn to trade actually? How did you get into the trading?
Yep. So I learned from a community of like-minded individuals, and from there just sort of collaborated on different strategies as far as trading. And I and my trading partner, Jalecia, and we pretty much trade together every day now. I would say we're both smart money concept naked chart traders, and that's our primary focus.
Well, what about when it comes to your strategy now? Would you be able to share a bit of it with us, so we can kind of like make an idea, and then I would love to get to that psychological part, right? Because we've been cooperating together, and I could see that even you were experiencing some, let's say, tough days. You were able to actually stay like mentally on a point, right? And you were
Yeah.
able to be consistent and just like perform really, really good. So I'd like to get to it, but for now, would you be able to actually share something about regarding your strategy?
Yeah, sure. So again, I trade naked charts, so I don't use any indicators or anything like that. I trade one pair primarily. I trade NASDAQ 100, and I've been trading that same pair for about 4 years now. So I really took the time to learn the energy of that pair, how it moves in each different trading session, Asian, London, and New York. I love all time frames, but I'm a lower time frame girl. I really do identify as both a scalper, an intraday trader, and a swing trader because the type of entries that I find, I really like to hold them for long periods of time. Ideally, I like trading in the beginning of any of those sessions. My favorite session is London session. But that's pretty much what I focus on is smart money concepts and naked chart trading.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing this with us. Also, I'd like to ask you if you would be able to maybe show us, your metrics in your client area to kind of like
Sure.
show people your results.
Sure thing. So this is one of my current accounts. Here we go. This is one of my active accounts with FTMO. This is a newer account. So this is currently an 80-20 profit split. I only trade one pair. So I've been trading NASDAQ 100 in this account. This particular account, I predominantly only trade during London. I try to save different accounts for different times of day just because I'm sort of testing out a few strategies. But yeah, there's days that I have drawdown, as you can see in the middle of the screen. But my biggest psychological challenge has been holding on to my really good trades, which I feel like I've been able to do more and more.
Yeah. So, when it comes to those ups and downs, right? What would you say that is actually like kind of like holding you mentally afloat when it comes to it, like when it comes to experiencing those losses? Because, I could see that you are really like able to stay consistent and just do, a good job, keep up the good job, even though you're getting in a drawdown or experiencing just this not such a beautiful part of trading, you're still like able to keep up. So
Right.
what would you say that it's like keeping you mentally afloat?
I know that a lot of traders don't like to really showcase that negative side of trading sometimes, which is really not a negative. It's something that happens. Even the best of traders will have days that they're in drawdown or that they take losses. For myself, it's really been a labor of love to embrace loss. Again, I was an ICU nurse, so when I first started trading, I really did take loss personally. I really, really did. It almost felt like I was letting someone die. I know that seems sort of extreme, but in my line of work, if I make a mistake, it could be fatal. So I think that really contributed to me in the beginning of my trading journey being severely under leveraged. But what FTMO specifically has helped me do is realize that even if you take losses, you have a certain amount of room in your account to allot for that, and to really push forward and keep pushing towards your profit target. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Um, it's helped me really get very clear with my trade parameters that I have for myself. Like during a typical trading session, I don't take more than 3 trades per trading session. Like I get 3 attempts, even if they're all wins, I stop at 3, because I don't want to overtrade. And FTMO has really helped me as well stop my problem that I had with under leveraging. I used to catch trades that ran for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of points on NAS, but my lot sizes were far too small. Having something like the account metrics really helped me realize, no, you can be appropriately risk managed and actually take bigger lot sizes and work towards your profit goal.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. I remember that when we have our last session, you were actually in a drawdown, right? And maybe you started to get into that trap again when you would maybe, have that tendency to under leverage again, yeah, or kind of like get back to what you used to do. So do you remember when it comes to our first session, like, do you remember maybe even like something from that first session? Like, have you found it helpful, or like, do you think that that has maybe some impact on your performance afterwards?
I really think that it did, especially I think in the beginning of this first account as well. I recall getting into good positions, but then I know I was managing a lot of things at home at that moment in time, so I was quite emotional. It was like even though I had good entries, I wasn't managing my trades as well as I could have been. Um, and actually having the ability to sit down and talk to a performance coach and try to pinpoint and identify what was going on with my trades at that time. It's like, okay, it's not your entries, it's not your strategy, it's how you're managing your trade. Okay, well, how are you managing your trade? Oh, you're managing them in an environment where you might not be the most emotionally healthy. And I remember at that time, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go out of town for a week. Literally, I can literally see on my account metrics the time that I went out of town and had time to focus and be by myself, and then I immediately passed my test. So it taught me a lot, and it's something that we know as traders, that everything around you and your environment is everything. It's everything. The people you surround yourself with, the environment that you live in. Um, so mentally, it was very helpful to have a performance coach, and it also told me that no matter how much you love someone, you have to prioritize yourself and put yourself first. Especially this skill set, this gift is so beautiful. It's so beautiful to be able to trade and pull money out of the sky. But you need your full emotional and mental faculties to be able to do that. And if you're in an environment where it's not really conducive to your trading, the only advice I could really give someone is do every single thing that you can to put yourself in a place that's peaceful, and in a place that's really conducive to you being as successful as possible, because there's limitless potential with this skill set.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I like what you just said. But once you kind of like, get yourself into the, let's say, drawdown, and when you are in this like environment, it's kind of difficult sometimes to see how to get out from there, right? So if you could, travel back in time and maybe like give yourself an advice, maybe, like in the past when you were experiencing something similar, or maybe to
Mm,
someone who is actually like listening to us right now,
mm.
what would that be? Like, what do you think that could be that one advice?
Ooh. You know what, Nelly? My one advice would be to a younger Alana or to anyone who might be in a similar situation, where your emotional resilience is really being tested, is to realize that every day that you wake up is a new opportunity to try again. Every single day is a gift. And as long as you can take time and pause and breathe, there's always another attempt. There's always another time to try again. Don't let your current results be an indication to you of your future performance. Because if I would have gotten stuck on the first trades that I was taking, I would have been like, "Oh my gosh, this isn't for me. I'm in drawdown. I'm not never going to make. I'm never going to make profit. I'm never
Mm.
going to make a withdrawal or things like that." But honestly, I've been working with FTMO now for about a year and a half, and it's really helped me clean up the metrics of my personal trading and really helping me pinpoint and see that no, under leveraging is what's keeping you from being profitable. So if I could go back and tell myself, I'd be like, don't be afraid to take that bigger lot size. You know how much you can risk, take it. Don't be afraid to remove yourself from an environment that might not be as emotionally nutritive for you. It's okay to leave, no matter how much you love someone. So that's the advice I give to myself. It's okay. It's okay to make that choice to leave, and it's okay to risk more.
Well, to kind of like get back to our coaching sessions, I wanted to ask, if you remember, if you actually like, what were your expectations when you were actually booking that session for the first time? Like, and has our session actually like, have our sessions actually met your expectations, or was it something like different?
I would say yes. I would prefer them to be more frequently, but I totally understand that as a free service, it's a luxury to have that. Um, a little bit more my background is I actually have a psychology degree as well. So I really appreciate therapy in any way, shape, or form. Like clear communication is one of the most healthy things that I think humans can experience. So I really respect FTMO as a company for the fact that they even offer psychological coaching sessions to people who partner with them. Um, and I'll be taking my third one coming up this month, and I found it helpful. Not only do I feel heard from this company, but I also feel like it's helping your company gather better data to be able to help people in this very unique situation. Being a funded trader is a very unique skill, right? Um,
Indeed, it is.
so to know that I can continuously have my progress, my mental progress monitored, um, and be able to discuss that with somebody, I find that to be very helpful personally. Yeah.
Mm.
But as far as what I was expecting, I'm not sure what I was expecting when I first started. Um, Again, I'm always pro therapy. So I think I was just expecting something positive to come from it either way. And I was also pleasantly surprised that my performance coach is female. Not that that makes a humongous difference to a lot of people, but as a woman myself, I'm a very rare statistic in the trading industry period, but definitely as far as funded traders because there's such a rigorous requirement as far as your level of accuracy
Mm.
inside of this. Yeah.
I see, I see. Well, I'm glad that you perceive it in this way, and I'm really happy to be here and that we are actually able to offer the service. I love my job. I guess you know that already. I really enjoy cooperating with you, and seeing your performance always makes me really happy to see my clients just performing well, right? But Alana, do you actually remember when it comes to our sessions, maybe something what, like some kind of like big uh I don't know, like realization, like when you really like realized, maybe, like when something like really hit on the point?
What I'll say is it helps to have therapy sessions because it helps. helps point out things to you that you sort of already knew, but sometimes hearing it from an objective opinion really drives home like, no, it's something that needs to be addressed a little bit sooner than later. As an individual, when you have emotional attachments to things, places, people, situations, we get complacent. Um, Sometimes it's a little harder for us to pull that trigger and make the decision to leave or make the decision to make a change for ourselves. So I remember in one of the most recent sessions that you and I had, we were sort of discussing my home schedule. Because I'm in the middle of like building out my business and building out curriculum and things of that nature. But I was having some kerfuffles in my home life, my work life, and I'm like, okay. And after talking about them in detail, it's like, no, my feelings are justified. I need to make the decision on whether or not it's healthy for me to remain in these situations, or do I need to make other accommodations, or do I need to remove myself from the situation completely? And I think from the first month, because I think we've had 3 so far, from the first
Mm,
month to the second month till now, I have made a lot of drastic changes in my home life, and my work life, and it's given me a lot of peace. Um, and honestly, there's some changes I wish I would have made sooner, but I can see it reflected in my ability to withdraw more frequently, to withdraw larger amounts of money. Like I can tell the change that's occurred in me, and it just makes me want to keep scaling up, keep
mm,
getting bigger accounts. It makes me want to push now because I see the potential that I have as an individual. Like I shouldn't be limited by anything in my environment to prevent me from going for bigger goals.
mm. Yeah. Actually, wanted to ask also regarding the future and regarding your goals in a trade-in, like if you would be able to share something with us, like um, I don't know, like do you have someone to, inspire in trading community, or what are your plans in a trading career in general?
Yeah, it's so interesting to think of this as a career because I've identified as a nurse for so long, but I really do see trading as a career. The level of accuracy in my trading plan, not as far as accuracy as trades, because you can be a very profitable trader and not be that accurate, to be honest, if your risk rewards are really good. But as far as myself, I really want to almost become robotic in the way that I trade,
Mm.
because I just want to stick to my trading plan. I want to find my setup. I want to choose my appropriate risk management. I want to execute. And I want to keep accruing equity into my account. I really want to inspire women from my community. Honestly, women who look like me. These aren't skill sets that were traditionally taught to us. I didn't even know some of these things were available to us. My business partner, Jaleesa, and I are literally looking to do that, to bring this sort of information to more Black and Brown women in our community. And I really want to write grants and scholarships for young women. I've been able to do two so far. And that's brought me so much joy.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, literally having this kind of disposable capital at hand to make the kind of changes that I want to see is, I can't even put words to that. I can't. I want to keep traveling to different states, different countries, um, and really get this message out here that, hey, if you apply yourself, if you stick to your rules, you literally can achieve anything that you want to achieve. Yeah.
Mm. Thank you. And I hope that everything is gonna go like smoothly and according to your plan. And wish you good luck with that. I can see, like how you've been performing trade and buys, and I can see how big improvement you made even like in your personal life just since these like 3 months of our cooperation or so, right? And I'm really proud of you. I'm really happy to see that. So hopefully everything is gonna go like smoothly, even when it comes to the future, and you'll be able to achieve everything. I believe so. Uh, Also, when it comes to like your plans now, in let's say like a short term with the FTMO
Mhm.
account, do you also like would you like to share something with us regarding that?
Yeah, so what I'll generally say is I'm close to scaling up, which brings me a lot of joy. If you can demonstrate a certain level of consistency in your account as far as growth and you stay appropriately risk managed, your profit split increases from 80/20 to 90/10. So I'm really excited about that. Um, but that's the main thing, literally just accruing these accounts, scaling up, growing my balance, and using that money for the sorts of things I wish I would have seen growing up to really impact my community, and literally working with my business partner to bring as much positive change to our community as possible. I'm so excited. And I think that's going to be a short-term goal.
I like that. I like that. So, well, I'm working with a lot of people, some of them are in a drawdown, some of them feel like maybe, like a giving up sometimes. So I'm like trying to encourage them sometimes, and then, like there's that thing when it comes to like consistency. And I can see that this is something what you are really like outstanding when it comes to it. So I would like you to also like share some kind of insights, when it comes to that, like what would you advise to these people? Like, what would you advise to them to kind of like, what should they do?
I would say in regards to consistency is literally, do you have it written down? When you show up to the market, do you have a checklist of things that you can follow? Like for myself, I know what times of day I'm going to trade. I know that I'm not spending more than 2.5 hours on the chart at a time. I know I'm not taking more than 3 trades within a session. I know I'm only trading one pair because I know that mastering one pair, especially in the first 2 years of your trading, is literally one of the fastest ways to consistency. I know that I will always be appropriately risk managed because I use a risk management calculator. If you don't have those things written down, if you can't like hop on an elevator and explain your trading edge to someone riding from the top floor down to the bottom floor, it might take some refinement for you to feel comfortable enough to execute your trading plan comfortably. So for myself, like if I roll over at 3 a.m. or if I roll over at 7 p.m., I know what I'm looking for when I'm hopping in and out of this market. And I'm not going to compromise myself for that. Even if I'm emotional, even if I'm tired, if I'm hungry, I'm going to stick to my trading rules. So for people who are looking for better returns in this market, being more consistent would be helpful if you write down your rules and stick to them.
Yeah. Well, what about when it comes to journaling? Because I know that we've been discussing this as well. So, would you have some kind of like idea how to maybe encourage others?
Yeah. So with journaling, I can remember my journey throughout journaling as well. I used to first write down everything by hand, but I quickly saw that depending on the type of trading I was doing, that handwriting might not have been the best for my trading style at that particular
Mm.
time. But then what that told me is if I don't have enough time to write my trades down, am I over trading? Am I trading too many pairs? Do I really know all my trading confirmations to get in and out of a trade? Then I remember at some point I moved over to Excel spreadsheets because I'm like, well, I'm just going to type it in really. um, and then now my journaling primarily consists of a mix of the FTMO
Mm.
metrics because I can easily log in, see what time of day was I trading, what days of the week were my best trades. I only trade one pair, so it's always going to tell me about NAS 100. Um, and then aside from the metrics, I primarily do screenshots. Like if I'm taking a trade or a setup, I'm going to do a screenshot of my entry. And I save those in a folder and I just keep them in chronological order. Like whenever I save it, I save it with the date, the the session that I was in and what I was looking for. If I have any notes, I'm usually jotting it on that screenshot at the time. But I just keep a large folder of all of my entries and things like that. So I think screenshotting my trades definitely took a lot of the handwritten component out of it. So that might help people with both speed and documenting all those small details. Because think about it, if you see your setup on a trade, you'll literally see your entry, your stop loss, your take profit. The only things I usually have to jot on there are like what my risk was. So whatever my lot size was or how much money I was risking in the market at that time. So it's pretty quick. If you're just screenshotting your trade, that's a pretty quick way to document your trades since everything's electronic. For those who like to do it handwritten, it might be best to just be trading one pair because then you know that all the entries that you log are for just one pair.
Yeah. I kind of like how you actually mentioned, that you had to also like found your style of journaling, right? So I guess it's kind of like all going even like back to when you actually, shared with us that you are now trading only one pair, right? Like you found your own style. Like I guess it's again like very similar when it comes to journaling and all these like things around trading, right? So just maybe also for those who are still like, trying to find this let's say trading style and approach when it comes to journaling and that consistency, how long did it take to you actually to, like kind of adjust and tweak with, like to make all these like changes to find that style which really is like suitable for you or like which really suits you?
I would say even up until recently, I was still tweaking, and I've been trading 4 years. There is no, you're going to arrive at the final destination. I feel like as you're doing anything, so say you're going to the gym and you're working out, you're always going to be adjusting your form, your posture, maybe adjusting your meal plan, the times of days that you're going to the gym, which workouts you're doing. It might be leg day, it might be arm day. And as anyone who's been trading for any amount of time, you know that the market's pretty dynamic. There's seasons where it's trending hard. There's seasons where it's consolidating. For myself, based on that, my trading journals have evolved with an evolving market. I would say for the last 7 months, I've been journaling pretty much the same way consistently, but that entire time, the other 3 and some change years prior to that was constantly evolving, like almost obsessively. I want to document every single thing. Like, I think that's just the ICU in me. But yeah, no, I would say it was evolving up until recently. But now that I'm in a screenshotting sort of workflow, it's pretty easy because I'm like, there's my markup, save.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing this with us. Because again, I guess, like it can be an inspiration for others to actually even hear that this whole thing is just like a process, right? Like you will have to like push yourself and keep up the work, right? To kind of like try to find out the way, and it's just a journey, isn't it? So it's good.
But it's a beautiful journey. I truly believe anything that you love, no matter, even on the days that you get fed up and frustrated with it, right? I really do love trading, and I love looking at it as a skill set, just like cooking or sewing or dancing. It just makes me want to get better and better and better because this isn't a get rich quick scheme for me. I really see myself 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, still in this market, knowing my pair in and out to the point where it's this beautiful symbiotic energy. I really see it that way. Like if you're passionate about trading, then unquestionably this is an opportunity for you, you know? If you're passionate about it, if this is something that you're trying to force for quick cash, it might not be for you. Just because you really have to love it on days that it's not giving you blue all the time. You're not always getting profit. You really have to love this.
Well, what do you think, if you meet maybe some people who would feel like they love trading, but at the same time, like there would be, like they would be maybe a bit afraid, like they would be that fear, like would there be some advice from you to kind of like encourage them?
I was fearful in the beginning of my trading journey. The very first day I saw a chart, I fell in love, but the first 2 years were probably my hardest because I ran into so many speed bumps with trying to learn. I wasn't taught risk management in the most appropriate way. It was like risk 0.01 per $100. Don't do that. Literally, your risk management matters differently from pair to pair, from broker to broker, from liquidity provider to liquidity provider. There's so many different things that can affect your trading experience. I've met some really talented people that had horrible trading accounts, but putting them in a more optimal situation, their trading blossomed and flourished. It was simply they didn't have the right tool at their disposal. Like another reason I really do like FTMO, especially for the pair that I trade, the spread is low. Literally, there's very few times that news really impacts my trading like that, especially for NAS 100 news events that don't even impact NAS 100 like that. You know, it's an index and it's not a Forex pair, so you're not penalized in that way. If you're fearful in this market, that will be reflected in the chart. The market is literally made up of human emotion. It's literally made up of human emotion. So if you're fearful, that fear will be returned back to you. You almost have to approach it systematically. I would say don't be afraid. It's okay to be nervous, but don't be afraid. Just approach it from the standpoint, it's something that I don't know, so I need to educate myself about it. So once you educate yourself about it, you're like, okay, it's not so scary. Like you used to be afraid of the monster under your bed and then you cut on the light and there's nothing there. So what are you afraid of? You know?
Yeah.
So when I look at trading, it's like, okay, there's all these squiggly lines on the screen. Okay, well, what are they? Oh, those are candles. Okay, well, what is a candle made up of? Oh, okay, it's a time frame. Oh, okay, I can change the time frame. Oh, okay, there's different things that happen that make the market go up, down, left, right. So when you learn more, just keep educating yourself. It demystifies it for you. And if you're consistent and you document, you'll find patterns. You'll see different things that make it easier for you to interact inside of this space, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and I like, what you mentioned with that fear, which is just coming from that unknown, right? Like you don't know something, so then there would be that fear. And do you also think like, because when it comes to the coaching sessions, I guess there's a lot of people who are maybe, afraid to book one,
Mm.
because, like they don't know what to expect. So do you think, like, is there something, what do you say, maybe the others about the opportunity of like having the coaching session?
Number one, if you have the ability or opportunity to take one, I say take one. Again, I'm pro therapy in every format. It's not like taking a therapy session is going to penalize you in any way, shape, or form. It literally gives you the opportunity to talk to someone who has the perspective of what you're trying to do, which is be a profitable trader, and literally help you work through those things. It's another thing entirely if you're trying to talk to your grandma about it and your grandma has no clue what trading is. You like talking to grandma because she's really comforting and she makes really great cookies, but it might be better to talk to a performance coach because they literally can help you work through your performance issues if you're having issues. Again, I was under leverage, or when I was emotional, I was still trying to trade because I believe in showing up always. And it was like, okay, maybe not show up on the days that you're as emotional, or edit your environment so that it's more conducive for you to be trading. So being able to have that ability, that open line to talk to someone who understands what I'm going through is necessary. So if you're afraid, please don't be afraid. At least try it. It's free. Try it. There's nothing to lose by doing it. And you might find that you enjoy it and it might be beneficial for you to continue in your journey. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your insight. I really appreciate that. And also, what would you maybe say to others about the opportunity that FTMO in general provided to you?
I've heard a lot of mixed opinions on either trading your own personal account up versus working with a proprietary firm like FTMO. In my personal opinion, if you have the ability to scale your money up much faster because you have a larger pool of resources to work with, why wouldn't you do that? That's one of the things that attracted me to proprietary firm trading like FTMO. literally the same amount of money that I would take to fund a personal account, I could take that same money and get 20 times the money just by working with a company that only wanted me to be risk managed. It to me, it just makes sense. Plus, in the amount of time that it took me to hone my skill set enough to be able to be consistently profitable inside of this space, FTMO has allowed me to recuperate all of my efforts in that way. Like I literally just in the last 2 weeks made $10,000. You know what I mean? So having the ability to do that, whereas if I'm trying to grow a small $100 account, $1,000 account, it's going to take me far longer to do that with my own personal money versus just trade the proper. It just makes sense to me. It's like you use tools to get you to where you want to be a bit faster, is all. Even if you only want to do this for 6 months, a year, it will allow you to accrue the capital that you need to do your startup company, to buy your house, to buy your car, to go on a world trip, whatever. You can do that much faster. It just makes sense to me. I don't.
Okay, thank you, Alana. And yeah, a final thing before we go off. Are there any like last words you'd like to share with other traders?
Yes, I say go for it. Always go for it. Working, especially with a company like FTMO, has allowed me the opportunity to refine some things in myself that I didn't know needed refinement in my trading journey, like my risk management, like the rapidity with documenting my trades in the trade journal, or even community outreach in that way. Like, I think everyone learns differently, but specifically, especially female traders, learn completely differently, in my personal opinion. Um, and we're not all a monolith, but I really do believe that as the more emotional sex, we tend to approach risk management in a very different way than male traders typically do. Female traders typically are very under leveraged individuals, even though we may find phenomenal entries. So working with a coach to really work through those things, I think would help on the front end. Take as many demo accounts as you need to refine your skill set. You literally can take a demo account every 2 weeks. Just keep doing it until you start hitting your profit targets. Like I think I did like 35 demo accounts before I really started going for my live accounts, because I really wanted to know my entry, my stop loss, my take profit, my risk management. Like I wanted to know it. I think I worked on demo accounts for about a year and a half before I got into it. I'm not saying everyone has to do that, but I know that helped me. So I really want to encourage anyone who wants to try this opportunity to try it, but especially anyone who might somewhat resemble me in any way, shape, and form. Like, go for this opportunity, please, God, please. I think it'll be very helpful. Also, individually, myself and my trading partner, we're really out here as resources for women as well. If you need people to talk to inside of this space, we're here as well, because I know how hard it is to get started in this space and not really understand how to to take those next steps. It's like do the demo account, okay, work on risk management, find your edge, find your pair, keep going. So that would be my advice. Like, just take the chance. Take the chance.
And that's FTMO.